Landlocked on the southern peninsula of Africa, between the graceful curves of the Zambezi and Limpopo rivers, Zimbabwe is renowned for its magnificent wildlife and cinematic landscapes. It also possesses a history that in so many ways embodies both the triumphs and tragedies of other African nations. For 1,000 years, it was the province of various kingdoms and governmental states, and envied by European and Arab merchants and traders for its rich natural resources: gold, ivory, and copper. It was explored and plundered, occupied and colonized, like so many of its neighbors on the continent. But in 1965, its minority white government declared the country independent, renaming it Rhodesia and sending it into 15 years of global isolation and guerrilla rebellion. That instability is what allowed Robert Mugabe to seize power in 1980, and for the next 37 years he locked the country into an endless spiral of economic decline, class warfare, and human rights violations. All of that came to an end on November 15, 2017, 12 days before my plane touched down on Zimbabwean soil, when nationwide demonstrations and a coup d'etat by the country's army finally brought an end to Mugabe's dictatorial reign, sending the people of this beautiful African nation into an exuberant frenzy. When I arrived in Harare, the capital city, Zimbabweans were still dancing in the streets. "Welcome to Zimbabwe!" I told my viewers, as locals swarmed around me, proudly waving the nation's flag. You probably know this country for its old dictator, Robert Mugabe, who just a few days ago was overthrown, and all of this was done with 0 bullets, 0 casualties, and a lot of peaceful protesters. As the old song goes, I don't know much about history, but I've become somewhat fluent in the language of hope. And what I saw upon my arrival in Zimbabwe was a defiantly optimistic people. They did not look angry, they did not look worried, they looked proud. I trained my camera on the many jubilant Zimbabweans who streamed by me on the street and asked them how they felt. "I am so happy today," said one. "I feel free now," said another. "It is a new era and a new beginning," said a third. This is what is called the power of the people, and when I posted the video that night on Facebook, I titled it "The Happiest Nation in the World," and that's really how it felt. But 37 years is a long time, and I was deeply curious about how Zimbabwe would find its way back to stability from nearly 4 decades of dictatorial rule. Over the next few days, I probed that question, and it didn't take me very long to learn Zimbabwe's secret to survival: ingenuity. Take, for example, their ride-sharing system. We all know of Uber and Lyft and Via and all those ride-hailing apps created by well-paid software engineers in their cushy offices in San Francisco. Turns out the same technology existed in Zimbabwe. Faced with a collapsed economy and skyrocketing employment, some Zimbabweans figured out a way to create their own ride-sharing community and workforce that doesn't rely on technology. It's called Mushikashika, which in Zimbabwe's native language of Shona is slang for quick. And it operates just like Uber, only without the app. It's a network of people with their own cars who patrol the streets like a feisty fleet of shuttles and will take you to your destination for much cheaper fares than taxis. They'll even pick up more passengers along the way, just like an Uber pool. The cost? 50 cents a ride. In fact, the San Francisco-based company Lyft used to be called Zimride because the founder had been in Zimbabwe and witnessed the very Mushikashika that I watched in action. He went on to make Lyft a multi-billion-dollar company. Granted, Mushikashika is a little more seat of the pants than Uber, and some locals, including the media and the police, consider it a dangerous menace. I find that so interesting.